All right. I'm making this video just to talk about how my bot failed its first funded futures challenge and what I learned from it and what I'm doing moving forward to help improve on this and what how you could use this for anybody that's developing a bot on their own to pass a challenge. Um, so first off, this second bot that I made is an iteration on the first one. The first bot was really it basically was meant to trade the US 30 or the Dow Jones futures, um, which is YM, and it used the financial stocks that were in the financial sector stocks within the Dow Jones to determine whether we buy or sell at a specific moment. And this was ran through Python, meaning that it was outside of my trading platform. I would run it on a command, run it through my command prompt, and then in the command prompt, every minute or so it would spit out buy or sell. So it was like a signals bot pretty much. And then from there, I would have to manually trade. With this iteration, there was no manual trades being taken. It was more so it was a market structure bot where pretty much we used ATR and a look back period to determine higher highs, higher lows within the market on a certain time frame. So it was written in C sharp, and it would you have to run it on specific charts for it to work in NinjaTrader. And as you can see, it kind of like just it has short entry. It talks about when it flips to bullish or bearish, like, and it's a little bit complicated, so I won't get into the code, but I'll show you the performance. So let's talk about the 50K trading combine. So initially, this loss was my fault, right? This is my fault. This is me taking a contract that was just too big. Then, as you see within these different trading days, the bot. I'll tell you. Let me show you how the bot will look. Right, it would take positions. It will go really up, and then it will go really down, and it will really up and really down, and then it will close at the end of the day negative, basically. And a lot of times, sometimes I had to manually close these positions because the drawdown was just too much. Like it would take, it would take positions on not on the minis but on the actual like stand like NQ or whatever. So it might be negative $500 in a matter of seconds, which for a 50K trading account, if you lose 2K, you pretty much lose the account. So it was just in a limbo as I continued to try to iterate and change and change and change, but it didn't really work, and I'll explain more of this over here. I'll explain why it didn't work more briefly. But when we look into the 150K, and this was the practice account, there's more wiggle room. There's more wiggle room on this. Um, this primarily was running that first iteration, which was very, very simple, and it just had a positive equity curve. Now, what I can say is that this one, even though it closed positive most days, it really would go like this down, and it would shoot back up, and then it'll go down and then shoot back up. This is what actual equity curve look like, and then the a balance over time. The balance, it just looks like this. It's slowly going up. Now, as I increase more parameters and I added more things, I try to add more complexity to the bot because I noticed that it was taking good entries, but it wasn't do hadn't it didn't have proper risk management, or it was doing like mean reverting trades when I wanted to be trend following, was doing a lot of things that I just didn't like. And as I started changing more and more things, pretty much the bots just started declining. Like it went from 50 about $5,000 in profit all the way back down to losing that and going under 150,000. So all of this, right? This experience taught me with this one bot, because there's going to be multiple bots that need to be made, multiple strategies that need to be made. Let me just say strategies that need to be made. Had very fire entries, but it held trades too long. It took a lot of mean reverting trades, which means like mean reverting just simply means like when you expect the let's say on average, it's bullet, something is bullish, right? Mean reverting just means that it's going to return back to where it normally was. So you can have a day where price looks like this, and then randomly price shoots up like that, right? The mean reverting strategy is that you're going to take the sell because eventually price is going to return back to this normal area. But this is supposed to be a trend following bot. So if price shoots up, it's supposed to take trades as price is going up and close as it comes back down. A lot of times too, it overtrades, like where it takes multiple positions within these spots, right? take multiple positions, open and close, and that's the issue that I've been having with this, and that leads it to just having a negative equity curve. So from you making this bot, right, what I realized is that more parameters don't mean doesn't mean more success. The more parameters you add to your strategy, the more complex you make the bot, and the more complex the bot is, the less likely you're going to have a positive equity curve. So this first iteration that I had, there was only one parameter, and it was literally the average true range. It was just the ATR. It had a positive equity curve. Was it a positive balance, an equity curve? There was times where the equity would dip, it would do really, really bad, but eventually it would swing back into the direction that it needed to go into, and it would actually make money. Now, when I started adding ATR, look back candles, risk per trade, stop loss, EMA, break even trigger, trailing stop trigger, all these different things, these different parameters, the equity curve just got worse and worse and worse, and it just stopped performing well. So, if you're building a strategy in NinjaTrader, if you're learning how to automate some of your trading, or using this to try to get some payouts, my suggestion is that you just have to keep it just keep it as simple as possible. Like, so what it is KISS. Keep it simple. Keep it simple, sweetie, or keep it simple, stupid. Stupid. I like to say sweetie because I don't ever want to call myself stupid. But that's pretty much what I've learned so far from building a bot. Now I did this using so this is all I did. This is just Chat GPT. Chat GPT. Let me delete this. Really just Chat GPT, my own research. It's a Chat GPT 4.0 high mini, right? And this is I designed for coding and reasoning, and I just use this to help write it in C sharp. C sharp, and then I put it directly into the Ninja Traders strategy scripter. Um, and I thought the more complex I made it, the better it would be, and all this stuff. So I thought, oh, I have 300 lines of code, and boom, 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 and you know, it's getting crazy now. Like, it's gonna get better. More lines of code doesn't mean better. If anything, from a retail trading perspective, the less you can put in there. Now, I'm not gonna say having 300 lines or 1,000 lines of code is bad. It's not bad if the model works better. But when you're in this limited environment like NinjaTrader, where you can't really do too much, there's not a lot of models you can combine together into a bigger one. At least from what I know, it just makes more sense to go with something simple. Like, I think my first bot was like maybe 60, somewhere between 30 to 60 lines of code, and now the latest model is all the way up to like 300 something, but it's performing worse. So that's pretty much the video explaining how it failed his first challenge and what I'm learning. The key takeaways is that less is more. The more parameters you have, the more complex you make the bot, the harder it is to perform. And then also, just take your time, figure out what works, and don't be afraid to test your bot out. Don't be afraid to fail a challenge testing the bot out, because ultimately, once it does pass, you're gonna get your payout.